fear or love? I woke up this morning and on the news there were floods and there were fires. There were 8-year-olds being publicly molested in classrooms. There were entire African villages committing suicide. There were dead babies turning up in drainage pipes. There were people dying of malnutrition and starvation. There were the last remnants of elephants being hunted for ivory. There were threats of the Great Barrier Reef becoming our next landfill. There were people being beaten for standing up for their rights. There were puppies abandoned in parking lots. There were rainforests being chopped down so that IKEA may have its must-have winter sale. There were seals being clubbed and pigeons having pebbles thrown at them. There were seagulls being chased by suits with umbrellas. There was the perpetual threat of nuclear explosion and global warming and terrorism and earthquakes and cyclones and tsunamis and alien invasions and the entire world going up in flames. No! This cannot be true. This cannot happen. We have come too far. We have suffered too much for all of it to be in vain. So I turned off the TV and began my day with a heavy heart. And this is what I discover. There were Christians protecting Muslims during prayer in the midst of the Cairo uprising. There was a couple found in a loving embrace in the rubble of a collapsed factory. There was a banker who spent his lunch break catching ducklings as they jumped off a roof, how the whole city stopped to guide them to the nearest lake. There was a young filmmaker who rescued tigers by giving the poachers, who were also musicians, jobs in the music industry. There was a lady who set up an organization which fed, cleaned, and nurtured stray dogs. There was a firefighter who stopped to feed fresh water to a koala. There was a monkey who rescued a puppy, and a man who rescued a litter of kittens, and people who freed cows and watched as they jumped for joy in green fields. There was a dog who saved thousands of lives by detecting over 1,000 bombs. There was a 14-year-old girl who worked simply so that she could donate all of her earnings to kids in Africa. There were grandmas starting peaceful rallies where they would knit in protest to the gases that cause pollution. There were little girls on tricycles defending the rights of bikies. There were young people starting doggy daycares and senior citizens adopting senior dogs, giving them a new lease on life and waiting patiently as their depression disappeared. There were people with homes serving soup and bread to people without homes. There were people starting collective meditation sessions to reduce crime rates. There were people spending their weekends planting saplings and their holidays rescuing injured orangutans. There were people marching for equal marriage rights and for the better treatment of refugees. There were people protecting the disabled, the downtrodden, and the diseased. There were roses and rifles and people expressing themselves through art and music and song and dance. There were people growing organic crops, reducing their carbon footprint, healing the land, healing themselves. There were people buying ethically made produce and understanding the importance of every single choice. There were people building sanctuaries, rebuilding communities, inventing sustainable living systems, changing education models, questioning archaic views, and fighting against corruption and exploitation. There were people hosting fundraisers and adopting children from different parts of the world. There were people forming everlasting friendships with animals. There were people who whispered sweet nothings to their plants and watched patiently as they blossomed. There were people who dreamed big even when everyone told them that they were too small and too crazy. There were people who never gave up hope even when they had lost everything. There were people who got down on their hands and their knees and prayed for a miracle. And there were people who witnessed miracles every day. I refuse to be afraid anymore, despite whatever is thrown at me, despite however real it may seem, however paralyzing and seductive and helpless and hopeless and immobile the fear can be. I refuse to give up. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. I am here for a reason. I am here to see the light even when the room is engulfed in darkness. I am here to shine a light on the innocence and the beauty of the soul. I am here to protect those who need protection. I am here so that we may all be surrounded by magic, so that we may all experience a paradise on earth in this life. I am here to scream on the top of my lungs, and though I might be terrified with sweaty palms and shallow breath and wobbly legs, I will choose to rise above the fear and choose love every time. I am here because I believe in a world that is fully healed from head to toe. A world in which there is abundance, freedom, health, joy, and equality for all beings. A world where there is no longer any such thing known as fear. A world where there is love and only love and nothing but love. And I will not rest until I witness this day. Thank you.